Stay tuned for Full Moon's Video Zone, a behind-the-scenes video magazine following our feature presentation.
Welcome to the third edition of Full Moon Entertainment's Video Zone. Between these two magazines, we've received over 10,000 letters from all of you, and it's been just terrific seeing and reading and understanding your comments and, what we can do better with our films in terms of story and characters, and also what we're doing right about making some of our pictures. So I want to really thank you for all the terrific response, and it really has inspired us to continue the series. So you can count on the fact that at the end of every single one of our feature films will be a new edition of Video Zone. In addition to all the usual things you'll see in Video Zone, or you've seen in Video Zone, in this particular edition, we have a spotlight on actor Tim Thomerson. Tim and I go back some years. We together worked on a film called Metal Storm that I directed and was released by Universal. And afterwards we shot a film called Trancers. And Tim's character in Trancers is a fellow by the name of Jack Death. And Trancers has done so well over the years that I must say, of all the pictures I've been involved with, it's the one that receives the most mail, the most recognition, and still today it plays all over the world on television. It's a big video rental item still. So due to this response, we decided it's time to go back and make Trancers 2. Tim Thomerson again stars as Jack Death, Helen Hunt, Megan Ward, who you all came to know in Crash and Burn, Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator, and more recently The Bride of Reanimator. It's a wonderful cast, and it's exciting for me to go back behind the cameras and direct a new feature. And after Trancers, we're bringing you a film by the name of Doll Man, directed by Albert Pune, who's known for The Sword and the Sorcerer and Cyborg and Kickboxer 2. And right after Doll Man, there's a feature film also by Albert Pune called Arcade, again starring Megan Ward, and it's a real terrific thriller that deals with basically a ghost in the machine, a video game that is haunted by a bad news guy. After Arcade, we'll be making a picture called Dangerous Toys. Dangerous Toys is written and directed by a young fellow by the name of David Goyer. David wrote Arcade for us and did a terrific job, so this is his directorial debut. You can all imagine what Dangerous Toys is about. And after Dangerous Toys, we're back with Stuart Gordon, who directed The Pit and the Pendulum, and many years ago Reanimator and From Beyond and Dolls for Me. We're doing a new Lovecraft adaptation called The Shadow over Innsmouth, so that's very, very exciting. I'd say there's probably 7 or 8 more films you'll be seeing from Full Moon this year. We're making as many as we could physically make and having a great time doing it. And once again, I hope you enjoy this edition of the Video Zone.
The full moon rises over Transylvania with Subspecies, the latest horror offering from Full Moon Entertainment. Director Ted Nicolau bravely pioneers the first American film to be shot in the post-Ceausescu Romania.
Well, when Charlie first proposed doing this film in Romania, I was a little bit suspicious of the whole setup, but they sent me over there for a 4-day kind of location scout. And meeting the people that I'd be working with, Vlad and Juana and Lucian, the art director, and seeing the locations that we would have access to, the ruins in Transylvania, and just the beautiful, magical forests that we could have free reign in shooting at. It suddenly seemed to me like the chance of a lifetime, really, to shoot at a place where you just had total access to these ancient places. This is one of the many strange and incredible locations we found here in Romania, a church that was built in the 1870s, and the bell fell off from the roof here and went through the floor. And over here, one of the graves actually cracked open. You can see the hand of somebody down there. It was sort of like a good nightmare, let's say. It was a nightmare while we were there. The production problems and the differences in cultures between the Americans and the Romanians, and sort of the leftover psychology of communism that still exists in that country, made it a very trying experience for all of us. What? You speak English? Joanne.
Along with Mr. Nicolau came the American cast. Michael Watson of General Hospital, Laura Tate, Michelle McBride, Angus Scrimm of Phantasm.
Why have you come?
And playing the most terrifying vampire this side of Nosferatu, Danish actor Anders Hoben. The American troupe landed in the midst of more troubled times for Romania.
The hotel we were staying at in the heart of Bucharest was along the thoroughfare where the original revolution took place, and everywhere you looked there were bullet holes in the buildings. That sort of gave you a sense of how violent the revolution really was and how many people died in that revolution. And we were in the hotel one day and we heard this incredible commotion and looked out our windows, and there was a river of people coming down the street in protest of the price rises in the government.
My father told me that in the very beginning, in 90 and 10, 90 and 20, Bucharest was a very beautiful city. It was named the small Paris because it had a very specific kind of architecture. It was very warm. And it was really, really very sad that we couldn't keep all this Bucharest for us, because it was properly destroyed.
Stay away from the ruins. Stay away. You might do interfere with the way things are.
My name is Sanda Vishan. I'm a television reporter. You asked me to tell you some things about the situation of the Romanian film right now. It's a very difficult situation because the whole system has collapsed and things have to be reorganized, and things go very slowly.
Slower production pace notwithstanding, Director Nicolau jumps into Romanian culture and folklore with the help of costume designer Oana Tofan.
This was a sequence when we needed a festival, a popular festival, so I make sketches with those masks, and I find a wonderful man who is makeup at a theater who made those. This is my favorite mask, and I like it very much because it's very expressive, and I found it the best from all. But it depends on taste. It represents a central character of a gypsy, and the story of the festival is around this character.
We kind of mixed a few metaphors. One mask festival that occurs in northern Romania in the winter that is like a dance with masks. We took that mask dance and kind of combined it with this festival of, unearthing the grave of the undead, and came up with this festival that we put into the film, which I think is one of the centerpieces of the film.
The smallest stars of the film, the subspecies, proved to be the biggest problems for production.
We shot some subspecies, men in rubber suits, in Romania. They built these incredible overscale sets, and we shot these subspecies there. But due to some problems with the costumes and with the stuntmen that we got in Romania, who were like over eager in their performances, we decided when we got the material here that we really needed to make these subspecies more magical. And so we enlisted the aid of David Allen.
What Charlie explained to me was that he had some monsters that he felt were not quite adequate to the picture. So then it remained to me to go through the material and the editors and try to find moments before the costumes ran in or after they ran out of the backgrounds that we could isolate optically to create background plates for the new creatures to operate in a matted-in situation.
The stop-motion animation puppets and the rod puppets are both composed of natural foam rubber and have similar skeletal systems. The only difference being that the skeletal structure of the stop-motion puppet has tension in the joints, while the rod puppet is loose and flexible.
The rod puppetry gives us a certain amount of freedom and speed because basically we're generating this stuff real time. And with animation, it's a little more time consuming. Well, most of the challenges I've been doing in this kind of rod puppetry work is just basically to make them look convincing on film and to make them look interesting and basically behaving like real little creatures.
Most would think that shooting a vampire film in Romania is like bringing sand to the beach. We set our man on the street to ask the average Romanian what they thought of vampires.
Nobody believe in it, in vampires, because there aren't.
The people in Romania never think that there are vampires on this world. Never.
Only America thinks that in Romania exist vampires. Here, we doesn't see them. They doesn't exist. We never saw him. In our history, we don't know about.
We don't think that your books which speak about Dracula, they are real, because for us, for Romanian, Dracula was a very great king, a very great king.
Vampire? What is this?
Dracula story is a story invented by a stupid American for children, not for grown-ups, and is not light to the history of our country and of our people. Is a stupid story. Is not for intelligent people.
In the vampires of communism, maybe.
And as much of a nightmare as a lot of our production was, and as incredibly difficult as it was for us as Americans coming into a situation where there were so little resources to work with, and trying to make a film that involved a lot of special effects and a lot of mechanical effects in a place where they don't really understand mechanical effects as we know it. As difficult as all that was, when I think back on it now, all I remember are the people I was working with and the love that we shared, you know, and the incredible battlefield mentality that we had as we were trying to struggle against production. You know, I sort of miss it in a way.
Jack Death's a character I played before in the original Trancers, which is kind of a tribute to a Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade, Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett type character, but he's from the future and he comes to modern day LA, and he's the classic hard-boiled detective with a trench coat and a cigarette and a gun. The difference between Jack Death and Trancers and this guy I'm playing now in this thing called Doll Man is that Doll Man is from another planet, and the reason why he's called Doll Man is he's only 13 inches tall when he comes down here to this world, but in the world that he's from, in the planet Arturos, he's like the toughest cop there is, and he's a real loner, real kind of a tortured, almost, oh gosh, I don't know how to label it as, kind of like the man with no name in the Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone movies of the early 60s, the spaghetti westerns. And it's shot real stylized Doll Man, whereas Trancers 2 is shot more on the nose, and it's a little lighter in context. There's a love triangle, and they're still bad guys, but the tongue is well placed in the cheek. It's a lot of comedy, and coupled with some good action. I think there's more romance, definitely more romance in Trancers too, because you've got his wife who comes from the future, then he's got the wife who we thought was dead, and then he's got the wife he married down in the present. So there's like a love triangle there. So there's a lot more romance. Doll Man, there's kind of a romance, but he's only 13 inches, so it's gonna be tough with this gal he kind of saves. Why they cast me in these, I guess, is because I kind of have an affinity for them, or I like playing those types of characters, and I've always been a fan of that kind of genre. I think Jack Death could probably take Doll Man, because Doll Man's, you know, such a little guy. He could spike him and place kick him and put him in the microwave if he got bummed out behind Doll Man's 13-inch attitude.
After publishing the hit comic book adaptations for Alien Nation and Planet of the Apes, Malibu Graphics is turning such full moon films as Puppet Master and Subspecies into the hottest titles around. Now, the editors at Malibu reveal how they change Andre Toulon and Radu into comic book characters.
As part of what I do here at Malibu, I go and talk to movie studios and see if they either want to make movies of our comics or us make comics of their movies. This is a case where I went down and talked to Charlie and showed him what kind of comics that we did. Found out that his great love in life was comic books, and he would love to get comics made of his movies. And it kind of started that way. Then it evolved and started doing comics of basically all of his movies.
There's a lot of action, there's a lot of interesting kinds of situations, a lot of fantasy elements that are particularly suited to comic books. It's especially easy for us to do special effects that would cost a lot in a movie, because all we do is ask the artist to draw the particular effect.
You don't want to actually recreate the movie in the comic book, because then all you're doing is giving the people who've seen the movie the same thing they've already seen. So you try to give it, you take the characters and the situations of the Puppet Master, like you take the Puppet Master himself and you take the little tiny puppets and you expand on what's there in the movie. You fill in gaps in the story, or you pick it up at the very end of the movie and start with a sequel.
The ideas or concepts for a comic book can originate almost anywhere. They can originate from a creative team who just comes to us, to Malibu Graphics, with an idea, or they could come from a licensor that wants us to do something, a comic book for their projects, like, for example, Full Moon comics are done that way. The first stage of comic book production is always the script stage, just like a movie. Only instead of doing scenes and scenic breakdowns, it's done panel by panel. And the next stage after we approve the script is pencils, which the artist will interpret the script in such a way that it goes panel by panel with penciled illustrations. That will then come back to us, and I'll approve it. And at that point, it'll go to another artist where it will be inked. That is, an ink pen will be drawn over the actual pencil lines to get us a finished product. Over here, you can see a scanned image, and after it's scanned, we'll lay down lettering by actually typing in the lettering and putting the balloons over the scanned artwork. If it's a color book, we will then color it on screen using the computer, using the Macintosh computer. Finally, it outputs like this, which is the finished product.
Okay, we really have a lot of fun working on the Full Moon material. The office is just full of movie buffs, and it gives us a chance to look at the videos, or to look at the promotional movie materials, or to look at the advanced work on a particular movie. And then we work on Puppet Master. It gave us a chance to work with the Australian artists that we liked so much. We've released the first issue of Subspecies, and it's going to be a 4-issue color miniseries, and followed shortly by Trancers, which is going to be a 2-issue miniseries. And this is the full color cover to the first issue of Doll Man, and based on this graphic, they will be doing most of their ordering. Well, Children of the Puppet Master is going to be by the same guys that did the original Puppet Master 4-issue color miniseries. It's going to be set in Connecticut, and the guys in Australia actually toured the United States, went and visited Connecticut for a few days, and spent some time scouting out particular shots that they wanted to see and taking photos for research. Trancers is also going to be a 2-issue color miniseries. You'll have to check with the editorial guys in terms of who's the creative team, but it's scheduled for later this summer and during the fall. So we give the audience something brand new that they've never seen before, and yet it's familiar because it's exactly the same properties that Charlie developed in the movies that they've done.
My name's Jack Death. I am a transfer hunter from the 21st century. It's been 7 years since I went down the line to old California. Life's been good. I thought I'd singe my last transfer, but nothing lasts forever.
Jack! Vacation's over, Jack. Time to get off your butt and go back to work.
Rabbit, listen to me. I need your help. I'm a special agent on a mission from the future.
I know just how you feel. You're going to be expelled from the Green World community. Do you know what that means?
Help me, please. I'm on a mission.
Who I think you are?
Stillwell, Alice B.
Welcome to old California, Alice. I'm your husband, Jack Death.
Oh my God, Jack, it is you. The only man I ever had sex with.
Isn't that bad?
Get the activists out on the streets. I want fresh blood.
We did it, Jack. We scorched another one. Oh God, how I'd like to make love to you right now.
Jack, you son of a bitch!
Lena, don't jump to conclusions.
You're the one doing all the jumping, Jack.
Why does she keep butting in on us?
Because I happen to be his wife.
So am I.
Ladies, please. Lena, she's my wife. Her consciousness is in another body. She's a transfer hunter, too.
I've had to handle a lot being married to someone from the future, Jack, but 2 wives?
You're in the way, Lena.
I want Jack Death to see his wife become a trancer.
They've got Lena. You know the layout well enough to go in after her?
Yeah, but it won't be easy.
Can you hear me, Jack Death? It can be fun watching you burn to death.
Trancers 2, starring Tim Thomerson of Near Dark, Helen Hunt from Next of Kin, Megan Ward of Crash and Burn, Richard Lynch of The Sword and the Sorcerer, and Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator. Trancers 2, The Return of Jack Death.
Jack, the 20th century must be getting to you.
You have no idea.
The Nazis thought they held the world's strings. But Andre Toulon didn't need wires to make death move.
Herr Toulon has developed a method of animating his puppets without string. It's as if they were alive.
If Stein is even half right, this could be very important to my work.
This is one of the puppets I was telling you about.
No!
Elsa, take what you want, you bastards, and get out of here.
That would be you, puppeteer.
I'm
Put him in the second car, take him to Gestapo headquarters. And puts the toys in with the toy maker.
never knew a man who played with dolls before.
Herr Toulon has escaped your custody. We are very close to finding him.
Nothing will stop me from seeking you out. And you will cry me mercy. And I will have none.
What is this joke?
Find him. I don't care how many patrols it takes. Fighting! Here too long. You are a genius.
Elsa, this is the best I can do for you now. But you can still revenge yourself.
What is the secret?
No mercy.
You think I'm afraid of this?
You will be afraid.
Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge. Welcome to Arcade, the hottest video game ever. It's got 7 levels of difficulty, graphics that you won't believe, and great joystick action. All you need to play are 2 quarters and your soul.
Greg? Stacy, where's Greg?
Go on, kids. I got something to show you in the other room. This is Arcade. It's so real, you'll think you're actually in the game board. Enjoy. You okay?
You gotta try this thing.
We got some home versions of Arcade that I'm gonna give you to take home.
Did you play arcade last night?
No, my TV was busted.
It's alive, Nick. It's listening to us.
Shut up! Enough. Is it like a supernatural evil that you're going off to fight, or is it like space aliens and like pod people and stuff like that? Just stay here, Stilts.
And don't watch any TV. Lori? Lori!
Alex, wait!
Step back! Lori, wake up. We have to turn it off, Lori. I'm gonna turn it off. No!
Let's get the hell out of here.
Vertigotronics.
What?
They made arcade. I mean, it's still a game, isn't it?
It's a machine without a soul. If he gets you, you're dead.
It's alive there. It's the one changing the rules.
Don't play this game. I'd like to, but I don't think that's an option anymore.
It's tough being a hero, isn't it?
Hold on.
Arcade. Kiss reality goodbye. The makers of Puppet Master and Reanimator take you to a time of madness.
Have mercy.
Arrest her.
An inquisitor's lust, a woman's innocence. His battle for her soul will create evil's ultimate weapon.
Look up.
The pit and the pendulum.
No one escaped. No one.
The Pit and the Pendulum, now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment.
Hi, Full Moon fans. I'm Charlie Spradling, and I'm back again to tell you about all the great things that are happening at Full Moon Entertainment. A lot of you have been asking how you can join our fan club, and I'm going to tell you how. But first, let me tell you about all the great things you get when you do join. You get this killer Full Moon t-shirt like the one I'm wearing. And you also get a copy of Moon Flash. It's our quarterly magazine. It's got all the inside info about the characters, the directors, all that good stuff. It's really cool. You also get a chance at some special collector's items. You get all that for $20. I mean, $20, can you believe it? We've also got some great stuff to go along with our releases. Well, in addition to the killer posters and t-shirts you can also get CD and tape soundtracks from such movies as Pit and the Pendulum, Meridian, and Puppet Master 2. I'm starring the last 2, remember? Don't forget to pick up our Full Moon trading cards, beginning with Subspecies and Transfers 2. They've got full painted pictures on the front, and on the back, exciting and secret information about the characters. They're really cool, and you can trade with your friends. Don't forget, when you're at your local comic book store, to pick up Malibu Graphics' full-color adaptations of Subspecies and Puppet Master. And don't forget, coming soon is Doll Man. For information about all this great stuff I just told you about, or becoming a Full Moon Fan Club member, you can call us at 1-800-999-9559, or write to Full Moon Entertainment, P.O. Box 526, 8721 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, California, 90069. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned to Video Zone.